Thanks for joining us for Khari Free at Last on Bounce23 TV. I'm Khari Enaharo. The movie Son of God is part of a number of biblical films coming out in 2014. Others include Noah, starring Russell Crowe, and Exodus with Christian Bale playing Moses. Most have biblical characters who are white. Is that an accurate depiction of people in the real Bible? What color was Moses and Noah? And what color was Jesus? Woo, uh-oh, I hit it there. Joining me is TalkTainmentRadio.com host Earth Jallow, Donella Martin Braddix, and the Reverend John Coates. Reverend Coates, as I was coming up, of course, that was ancient days ago.
Yes, it was.
Forgot you, never thought about you. How about that? As I was coming up, all of the depictions of Jesus were of a white male.
Yes.
And now, of course, with the Pope being Latin, coming out of Argentina, and others, you're looking at me, well,
he came out of Argentina, but his family's Italian.
Well, but but he's Argentinian.
By nationality,
right?
by citizenship.
All right, then, okay. So you smart today. Anyway, most of the depictions were of Jesus as a white male. Is that accurate?
No, it's not accurate.
Why?
Because most of the depictions of Jesus that we see is that of Michelangelo's uncle, a white man,
Where's
an
your
Italian.
Evidence?
We know who Michelangelo was, and we know who his uncle was.
Where's your evidence?
The evidence is in his own lineage.
You just made a statement and you didn't back it up with
I did back it up.
Give me a source.
I backed it up. History, art history.
No source.
Yes, there's a source.
Donella, is that an accurate portrayal of Jesus?
Of course it's not an accurate portrayal. Even if you think about the people of the Middle East today in that region, they are not Caucasian, and they certainly weren't Caucasian during biblical times. And so, and I think that's a fact that everyone knows.
That's not true. They are Caucasian. The people who say that they are Jews are Caucasian. Every last one outside of the Philosophians.
But it's already been studied. It's already been studied that the Jews of that time did not look like the European Jews who call themselves Jews today. That's already been documented.
Who?
I saw it on a documentary on PBS.
Oh, PBS documentary.
And you know PBS is always right.
Of course so.
And they did a study of the skull.
Okay. But Earth Jallow, isn't Jesus being accurately depicted today? Isn't Jesus a white male? And what's wrong if he is a white male?
Well, from the book that John studies from,
which book is that?
Don't you use the King James Version as well? It says that he was a man of, of color, bronze feet.
Quote me chapter,
bronze
verse,
feet, and woolly hair. Isn't that the first chapter, Genesis? What is that?
No, it's not. Jesus wasn't in Genesis, by the way. It's in the book of Revelation. Jesus is described as having feet that was burnt of the brass, burned in the oven, and he had hair of lamb's wool. No brass that is burned in the oven is black.
There are many Jewish men that have curly, kinky hair and that have a suntan. So what are you talking about?
Dr. Braddix attempted to explain to you.
She didn't do so well about
I think PBS was a great reference.
The Jews that we see in Palestine today are transplants to that area. They're from Europe. They are Europeans that came back to the Middle East. And first of all, what's the Middle East? What part of the world is the Middle East? But they're Europeans that came to Palestine from Europe. They are converts to Judaism. They are not original Jews.
So, Reverend, if this is not an accurate depiction, then why are movies like Moses, Noah, Son of God, and a host of others, the Bible, the miniseries, why are they still depicting Jesus as a white male?
I think those producers and directors make themselves feel well as a certain population within the United States and throughout the world. When you have the power to tell your own story, then you can create depictions the way that they should be or as they are accurately.
What effect does this have on little children who go to the church, Earth Jallow, even though you haven't been in 20 years?
Throw me out under the bus.
What effect does it have?
I think it has a devastating psychological effect on children because that's the first thing we do is take our children to church at a very young age. We get them baptized, and the first images that they see, even though, subconsciously, they're white. And so you have to say, as a child coming up, all the years of your life, subconsciously, that's what you believe. You start believing.
Well, there's no harm in that.
There's great harm. There's great harm in that.
The harm is this. I'm a black man, my father is black.
Right.
The theology and the doctrine says that Jesus is the Son of God.
Right.
So if I see a white Jesus, then subliminally I'm being also told that God is also white.
Absolutely.
So if I live in a society that I am oppressed by a white oppressor...
Wait a minute, God can't have a mixed baby? What are you talking about? He doesn't have to be white.
Nobody
God
said
could be
nothing.
black.
Nobody said nothing about a mixed baby.
Well,
we're talking about the
idea,
psychological
yes.
effect of imagery.
Hold on right
Right.
there. America, ready for a black Jesus? Up next on Khari, Free at Last. Welcome back to Khari Free at Last on Bounce23 TV. How many white and black or racially mixed Christian congregations and churches have a black Jesus on the walls and in their books of worship? Is white, black, or Hispanic America ready for a black Jesus? Joining me is TalkTainmentRadio.com host Jallow, Donella, Martin Braddix, and the Reverend John Coates. Yeah, you try to see if I got it right. Anyway, Jallow.
Yes, sir.
Is white America, is black America, is Hispanic America, Asian America, are they ready for a black Jesus?
You know, you was asking the question if they're ready for a black president. I don't know if anybody gets ready for a racial God or Jesus or anything of the sort. You know, we like to say that it's a spirit, so we don't like to give it a color or a gender. So
why are you dancing around this? You just dancing. You dancing like James Brown and trying to slide out Michael Jackson.
No, they're not ready.
Okay. Goodness.
They're not ready.
Donella, Martin Braddix.
Of course America is ready for a black Jesus. I think that Hollywood is not ready because Hollywood is about making money. So if you represent, the biblical figures as they actually looked, they're not going to be as sexy as, you have a blue-eyed blonde who, represents today's standard of handsome.
Why wouldn't it be sexy?
Because once again, we're living in a day and age where, blonde, blue-eyed sells, makes money, and so that's the image of what is handsome. So
but wouldn't all the church people
that's not
run?
true.
But wouldn't all the
of
church
course it
people
is.
run to the church?
Of course it is.
Wouldn't all the church people run to the movies to see it if,
Okay,
if
the
he was
thing about it is we're
depicted as
talking
black,
about
as black
Hollywood,
Jesus?
and Hollywood gives us our values and our morals. Hollywood is going to make a movie that's going to sell. They're not going to have someone who's like 5 feet tall, thick, brown, and with an afro
What do you mean,
representing
5 feet?
Jesus.
Wait, why
and
he had to be 5 feet
people
tall?
to show up in the theaters.
Why wouldn't
They're
he be
going to get
Adonis?
a Brad Pitt
You tried to represent little people and Jesus at the same time.
People were short in that day.
Okay, but so what? Why would he have to be short in today's society? Why would he have to be a black Adonis? Why would he have to be?
What I'm saying is this: if we're going to be accurate and true to the historical day and time, he is not going to look like a 6'2" black Adonis.
Well,
we're going to be doing the same thing that white Hollywood does right now.
Speaking of history, the History Channel took a stab at it in their miniseries, The Bible.
Right.
Well, they decided to outright make certain characters black.
Right.
And like Samson, for instance. So they decided Samson was a big, strong man, so let's make him black with dreadlocks and overcoming a little frail white woman. and the History Channel also decided to make the devil black, looking like President Obama.
Yeah,
his greatest black, what have. But the fact of the matter is that America, 11 o'clock on Sunday morning, is still America's most segregated hour. I know we like
Documented. I see. Wait a minute. I see a lot of churches now that have diverse, integrated congregations. What are you talking about?
And they are the minority, not the majority.
Oh, evidence. Documented. Documented. Give me some statistics.
Well, all you have to do, and I know that it would be difficult for you, but all you have to do is visit a church on Sunday morning. Why not 3? Just stop and act like you're running a campaign and stop by 3 or 4 churches on a Sunday morning and take a look for yourself.
Well,
the majority of African Americans belong to Baptist churches and then Pentecostal churches, and most of these churches are not integrated
solid
churches.
evidence. Not solid evidence.
But what freaked me out is the fact that you said that when I said if we portray the characters as black in these movies, that the church people would not run and just blow it out of the box office. I don't understand.
The thing about it is when you have a Hollywood blockbuster that is making, several hundreds of millions of dollars here and overseas, The theaters are not flocked with Christians. The theaters are flocked with people who want to hear a
Are
story
you saying,
and
wait,
see a story.
wait a minute, Donella, is America ready for a black Jesus?
I think, of course,
You're
yes.
going all around Peter's barn and you ain't answered the question.
America is ready for a black Jesus. Hollywood is not.
America is not ready for truth. In fact of the matter
is America ready for a black Jesus?
No. And the fact of the matter is that 30 years ago, black America wasn't ready for a black Jesus. Whenever we would raise...
Is black America ready for a black Jesus?
Right. Well, they're more so ready. What black people did when we confronted our own people with the real imagery of Jesus by just dealing with the geography and anthropology, when we confronted our people with it, what they did is got mad. Black people got angry when you raised the issue of Jesus being black. These are people that our people have had a white picture of Jesus hanging right next to Martin Luther King and two white Kennedy brothers for, in some cases, even Elvis for years. For years. And they rebelled against the thought of a black Jesus. So what black churches did is that black churches said, okay, well, we're not going to deal with it. So what they did is they began to take the image of Jesus out of the church.
Right. So what I'm saying is,
which is still.
Are black people still rebelling against the image of black Jesus?
I believe so.
We are ready. We are so ready for a black representative. Look what we did to Santa Claus.
John says no.
We made Santa Claus white. But black. We're so desperate to see ourselves represented. And here we are for the past,
John, didn't you say that black America was not ready for
I believe not.
We are ready.
And I think the answer was not to take the imagery of Jesus out of the church. And that's what happened. We should have replaced the imagery with a black Jesus, that I would know that my Lord and Savior, the one that died for me on the cross, looks like me and was a black man.
So what you're saying is then that makes God black.
Exactly.
By inference.
So you know what?
And hold on, and that's problematic?
Yes.
Why?
Because black people have suffered from self-hatred. So if you hate yourself, then therefore you would have problems in accepting a black man as being your God.
Oh, I don't buy that.
So why do African Americans then trust white lawyers more so than they do?
Oh, document that.
Why do they say that they trust white physicians more so?
I don't know about that.
Moving to the
Hold on down there. Let me come to Irv. Irv, is black America ready for a black Jesus?
No,
I think they are.
Donnella's crazy. She just said that they were ready, but yet and still the church folks wouldn't go to the movies to see a movie that depicts a black Jesus. So they can't be ready. They can't possibly be ready. Like John said, subconsciously you have been drilled with this image of white Jesus, white Moses, white David all of your life. So subconsciously you really believe that Jesus and God is white.
It was controversial. It was controversial in the black church when we introduced a black presence in the Bible through great theologians like James Cone. But the real issue was we should have looked at a white presence in the Bible.
Wait a minute. What percentage of black churches would you say still have a white Jesus on the wall versus a black Jesus on the wall? What percentage? And give me some study, some reference point in which you can say this from.
60%, and I would
60% what? Still have a black Jesus?
Still have a white Jesus. And the other 40% have taken the image of Jesus down.
Period.
Yeah.
But have they taken it out of their worship books and all the other manuals and all the materials?
Worship books are non-existent anymore. You don't find hymnals. But however, churches still, the churches that still have Jesus on the wall isn't necessarily a picture. He's in the stained glass. So therefore, you would actually have to change the actual core structure of the building.
I believe black America, white America, Latino America is ready for a black Jesus.
I absolutely
I don't understand that. Good God, hold on for a minute. Hold on for a minute. Just make his color universal. Up next on Khari, Free at Last. Welcome back to Khari Free at Last on Bounce23 TV. What impact would a universally accepted black Jesus and black God have on the psyches of white, black, and Hispanic people both here and abroad? Well, why not just make his color universal and forget all this argument? Joining me is TalkTainmentRadio.com host Jallow, Donella Martin Braddix, and the Reverend John Coates. Why not just say, look, let's just make him a universal. Let's just make him a green or a color that nobody can debate, or gray or something. Why not just make him a universal color?
Well, the universal Jesus would look something like a cross between Earth or Donella, because the majority of people on the planet Earth are people of color. So therefore, universal Jesus would be a Jesus with melanin.
A Jesus with what?
Melanin.
Well, everybody's got melanin. Everybody's got melanin to some degree. So when you say
got
that,
a whole lot.
Well, yeah, I do. I have a whole. I got more than you.
Yes, you do. Yeah, more than all three of us put
that's
together.
right.
That's good.
And that's good. But I got it. But at the same time, why not just make him universal, Jallow?
You know, you can't just make him universal.
Why not?
We weren't ready for a black president. Now we're asking, are we ready for a black Jesus? Come on, Donella, seriously? No, because too much of anything is bad for you. If we're going to say that God, Jesus, is a spirit, then how are we going to possibly put color on
I believe you scarred it.
Because Jesus was a man.
Jesus is a person. And one of the things that I am sick of, and I think a lot of people...
Jesus is a what?
Is a human.
Whoa. Where's your evidence?
Of course. He was a human. He
where's your
lived,
evidence?
he died.
Where's
this
your
is
evidence?
according to the Bible.
No.
This is according to the Bible.
Outside of the Bible, where's your evidence?
There are some people who believe that he is the Son of God who manifested in flesh.
And
outside of the Bible, one of the sources that's used to verify to verify the existence of Jesus is a historian by the name of Josephus. Records Jesus.
Jewish historian.
So we know that
Jesus existed. And the thing about it is what I think.
Named Jesus.
Okay, now Reverend Walter Williams, not Reverend, but Brother Walter Williams, Dr. Walter Williams disputes that finding totally. He says, wait a minute, he says there's no archaeological, paleontological, anthropological, I'm about to get confused. There's no evidence to support that claim.
Dr. Walter Williams, ED, not PhD, is a tax organized religion, period. He believes that Muhammad ibn Abdullah of Saudi Arabia did not exist. He believes that Jesus Christ of Nazareth did not exist. So consistent with his anti-organized religious views, he has taken that position.
Well, I don't think any of us buy that. But at the same time, I'm asking you, why not make it a universal Jesus? Why do we have to have Jesus white, black, Latino? What difference does it make? Why not make it a universal?
A figure. It does matter. Earth is right. It does matter. People
that's racist. That's racist.
It's not. You know what? Everything is racist.
Then it should be racist.
People need to have a human figure in which to connect with.
Well, then
you can say over
make it universal.
You know what? How can you make it universal? The world is not universal.
Jesus is universal. He's a savior for all mankind.
Oh, God, don't start preaching.
You and you.
Okay, don't tell that to the Buddhists. Don't tell that to people.
But the funny thing is that Buddhists do accept Jesus. The funny thing is that
you know what? The thing about it is because you're correct. Buddhism is not a religion. But the thing about it is this: what we have to keep in mind that Christianity, Jesus, it's man-made. Okay, so therefore he has to be a person.
Wait a minute, Reverend.
Hold
on for a minute. Reverend, she said it was man-made. That means there's no God involved in this.
Oh, and she's absolutely wrong. What happens, man has been involved in the story for sure. Because it's a part of the story of man. Men wrote the story. Men who were divinely inspired by God.
Hold on, let him finish. Go ahead.
Men who were divinely inspired by God.
And who said that? Who said that?
Inspired or not?
Yes.
Man still wrote it. And the thing about it is, I love your theology, I love your faith, but guess what? Men still wrote the story. And the men were divinely inspired by God. And whose story is it? Think about the story. The story is unlike some other religions where you're just playing about cosmic creatures and stars. This is the story. The Bible is a story of man's relationship and experience and journey with God. And the Bible is, because men help tell the whole story. But we tell the story how God interacted with man at the same time.
But
so
that's scary.
Hold on, Donella, hold on. Let me bring her back in here.
That's really scary to say.
She says that it's a man-made religion.
It is, and it's very, very scary for you to say that that the book is God's interaction with man, because in that book, God is very very destructive. God is very, he kills kids, women, all of that.
Pick sides,
pick sides. He's a jealous God. He's a hateful God.
Now,
So I don't want to serve a God like that.
He's a loving God that brings correction
Until you
and
do
reproach
wrong,
upon the
and then he
people.
strikes you down.
He's a God that gives instruction. He's a God that he's a God that heals. He's a
And
God who
strikes you down.
delivers. He's a God that sets
And
free.
strikes you down if you step wrong.
Your enemies. How would you like for someone to bring justice to those who do you wrong?
He's a God that said
Okay, now let me ask you this. I would think in all of this, why, you see what it does to us. Why not just have a universal God? And why not just, hold on for a minute, I'm getting ready to preach. Why not just take color out of it, son? Why not just take the, I like that. That's a little Baptist stuff. Why not just take color out of it?
Well, because color has played a role for 2,000 years and beyond.
Why not
so
take
now
it
don't
out?
say that it doesn't make a difference now,
Because
and let's take it out because it made a difference before.
But that's how you correct it.
No, you don't correct it that way. You correct it by telling the truth.
The truth.
Exactly.
The truth.
And what is the truth?
By being historically accurate.
By being historically accurate.
And what is the truth?
The truth is that the black man is the original man.
Original man.
That is the.
Where's your evidence? Where's your evidence?
The truth.
Were you
What is my evidence? My evidence is Dr. Leakey. Okay.
And he said Africa. He didn't say they were necessarily black.
Well,
he said they were African.
Well, what do you think they found in Africa?
And
blonde hair, blue eyed.
I don't know. I don't know. He never said it was an African man. He said they were found in Africa.
There is not an anthropologist walking the earth today that would disagree with my statement.
And
anyway,
if color
hold on.
wasn't important, they wouldn't have changed
Stop. This must be the devil's doing. Up next on Khari.
Big devil.
Free at last. Welcome back to Khari, Free at Last on Bounce23. Who cares whether Jesus is black, white, or in between? Is this argument the devil's doing? Does it really matter? Well, it must matter because there are millions of images of Jesus, image as a white male. So it matters to somebody. Joining me is TalkTainmentRadio.com host Irv Jallow, Donella Martin Braddix, and the Reverend John Coates. Why should it matter, Donella? It should not matter. Who cares what color Jesus is? As long as he is the Son of God, bringing the word down from heaven. Oh, I got carried away. I'm sorry.
I was getting ready to quicken in a Holy Ghost.
I know y'all was about to say something. Why should it really matter?
It does matter. You cannot sell Christianity without selling the human factor of it. Do you think Christianity would have been so big were it not for Jesus Christ? The
Muslims do it.
The thing about it, but
the Muslims don't have an image of God. The Muslims don't have an image of Muhammad.
Christianity
Am I correct, John?
has nearly eclipsed Islam across the world. The reason why Christianity is so popular is because if you just give people
the fastest growing religion, the fastest growing religion in the world is Islamic.
And even
Christianity.
Within the United States.
That's right.
But
so what are you talking
about? What's the largest religion in the world? Christianity.
I said the fastest growing.
Okay, it doesn't matter. It still cannot compete with Christianity.
Catholics Christian?
Of course they're Christian.
The Catholic bishops just had a conference last year in Europe because one of the biggest crises that they're experiencing within the Catholic Church, and by the way, the word Catholic is Latin for universal.
Yes.
Is that the biggest crisis that they're having is in the area of evangelism. Catholics have stopped going to church. And that's a problem, that Christianity is shrinking.
All Americans stop going to church.
Christianity
all our
is shrinking.
studies show that people are moving away from church. In fact, organized religion in general.
Yeah.
So something's happening totally. Maybe the aliens are getting ready to come.
I think people are evolving.
Evolving to what?
I think people are realizing that you don't need to necessarily have a story that is going to connect you to the divine, that you actually can live a life that's inspired.
Or go to the
You know what I am?
Are you a Christian?
I am a human.
Are you a Christian?
I am a human.
Are you a Christian?
Well, we're human too, but you know what they...
I'm a human, and I believe in love, and I believe in it being a good person.
But you're not answering the question. Are you a Christian?
My culture is Christian.
Are you a Christian?
Do I say that I am a... No, I do not.
Oh, okay, Reverend.
Because that's Jesus Christ.
Reverend,
I'm Donella Martin Braddix.
An hour later, we got to answer.
Okay, wait, listen. You knew what I was talking about.
What about you?
What about
you a
me?
Christian?
No.
What?
I'm a
No.
spiritualist.
What is a spiritualist?
God is always with me.
Oh, it is the devil's
everywhere,
doing.
Everywhere,
I told you it's
all
the devil's
time.
doing.
I don't
It's
have to
the
go to
devil's
a
doing.
church in order to have a personal relationship with God. That's why they call it a personal relationship. It ain't none of your business.
Wait a minute, for somebody that says they're not a Christian, they're using all the Christian wordings.
Well, Donella made a statement about that someone doesn't need a story. Well, church is more
Let me
than just
tell you,
a story.
I'm a Christian.
Church is a
I'm gonna
fellowship.
document that right up there.
I'm
It's an
glad you had to throw
assembling
that
of
in there.
believers together.
Okay,
What's
and
this
that's
now?
wonderful.
Say this.
Assembly
Yes,
of
it is.
believers
It's
together.
wonderful
And
that
they
it's a
say
fellowship,
when one or
but-
more are gathered in my name, then that is church. I don't feel like I have to go into a building with,
No, that's not church.
I
The
just
scripture,
don't.
the scripture
Coach.
that you're making reference to, where 2 or 3 are gathered
Right,
in my
in my
name,
name,
touching and
right.
agreed, then God is
Then
there
we are
in
there.
the midst as well.
Absolutely.
Not you, but God
So-
is there.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm good. God is here.
Okay, but people are leaving the church, they're leaving organized religion, so people are tired of this argument. They're tired of it. They're worn out by this, Reverend Coach.
No, this
What are
isn't
we
what people.
supposed to
This
do?
isn't what people are worn out by.
What are they worn out by?
People are worn out by the masquerade. People are worn out by the lies that have been told, and people are worn out by misbehavior and bad conduct in organized religion.
On behalf
That's
of-
what.
on
that's
behalf of
on
you
behalf
preachers?
of. Oh no. On
behalf of you
no,
preachers?
no. It's preachers that are misbehaving and people
And people that
that
go
are
to the
misbehaving
church.
that are mean-spirited and mean-hearted. That's
Wait a
why
minute,
people are
Reverend,
leaving.
are you saying preachers are misbehaving?
Of course, there's preachers that's
What are they
misbehaving.
doing that's misbehaving?
Well, you look at the situations with pedophilia, sexual abuse. You're looking at folks
Preachers?
that's mishandling money and a plethora of
They're
other
stealing
things.
money.
And I
The
think
same
there's a
things we
lot of
find in society.
Thanks
we
to
find in church.
TalkTainmentRadio.com host Earth Jallow, the Reverend John Coates, and Donella Martin Braddix. And thank you for watching Khari Free at Last on Bounce23 TV.